after Rosalie was born, well, that's when his grandpa would say, come on, babe, he used to call me babe. Come on, babe, let's go. That's the kids, and off we go. And the kids would say, oh, God, we're going to see Grandma, we're going to see Grandma. Well, John and what you call was old enough, you know, Alice was old enough, they were going to see Grandma. Aunt Lee was a baby, you know, she was too young to know about all that. And that's when we used to go over there and go through the back, knock on the back door, and Uncle Mossy would open the door, open the door and bring us in and put us sitting down at the table. And great-grandma would be, he'd put her coming from her bedroom and put her in her rocking chair in the kitchen with us and sit down there, and she'd hold Aunt Rosalie. She'd hold Rosalie. And then Grandma would tell him, make her son to make us coffee, and serve our coffee. Well, he'd do that. He'd put our cups on the table, get the sugar bowl and the cream pitcher, put it on the table for us, pour our coffee in there, and he would watch us for the sugar. One teaspoon of sugar for your coffee, that's all you could have. And when you put that cup, the milk, with just a sip of milk in that, remember what kind of milk, he'd take the cream, we call it cream, and he'd take and pour our cream in our coffee, and he'd take it away from us. He wouldn't leave it on the table to be sure that we wasn't going to take no more sugar and the cream. And Grandma, she had a twinkle in her eyes. She was a sweet thing, just as sweet as she could be, and had that smile all the time, like you could see in her picture. She had a twinkle in her eyes, And it tickled her to see what he used to do, So after we got through drinking our coffee, well, Grandpa got in his pocket, took his cigarette out, and at that time they didn't have cigarette lighters. You had to use the little box matches, or either the ones with the little paper things in it. And Grandpa would take his cigarette out and got his box of matches, and what you call it, he was going to go get his matches. So Mossy would go get his little box of matches and take it away, and he'd tell him one match and one cigarette. That's all he could smoke. I said, well, maybe nobody was allowed maybe to smoke in the house with Grandma, But she never told him, no, you can't smoke anything. So he'd smoke, and as soon as he'd get through, he'd take that ashtray, take the cigarette, go put water on the cigarette to be sure it was out, and then put it in the little can that he used to have by the cabinet. And then what you call it, he'd go sit down by Grandma and watch Grandma. And after that, you could see he'd getting restless, And he would stay too long. And they'd give cookies, or either want to give him milk or something to drink, but they never did want nothing. John and Alice, they never did want nothing. And we'd leave. But every time we'd go over there, it was the same thing. She was just as happy as she could be, Smile, but to say that she would visit anybody, I've never said, say that she'd visit anybody. And sometimes we'd go over there. Aunt Rosalie would come because she lived across the street from Grandma. She lived in the curve. Grandma had the curve, and then you'd go in on the road like that where Aunt Rosalie would live in Randall. And Grandma, you had to come away from the curve and be right there in her little shotgun house. And that's the only one that you really would see when we'd go visit over there, because she was the one that used to go, I guess, to take care of Grandma too, give her a bath, I guess, or something like that, but she was the closest one, you see. And the closest of the uncles, I think that Grandpa was to Uncle Tony. Because we used to go visit Uncle Tony in Graceland. But we never did see Uncle Sal. But he was had a different attitude than what Uncle Tony had. He was just a happy old go-lucky thing to me, with all kind of foolishness whenever he was around, And Uncle Dub, he was like this, you know what I mean? Sometimes he was nice to you, other times he was a puss. Wasn't too much. Uncle Fred, we very seldom ever saw him because he never was around. Now Aunt Mary, she was a happy-go-lucky one. She was like Uncle Tony. But Horst was playing Maggie. But y'all never liked Aunt Maggie. You was too small to know Aunt Maggie, and John couldn't stand her because, oh no, he used to kiss her too much. She'd kiss him too much. He kept it, and then he butted him. He didn't like that. And when we said we're going for Grandma, so we're going to see Aunt Maggie, he said, "No, I don't want to go. I don't want to go with that lady." I said, "Oh my God." That was something we did with her, you know what I mean? We weren't much for her. Uncle Frank was so for her. But Grandpa was more for Aunt Rosalie and Aunt Mary. They were more homely, a family, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Down to us, that wasn't like Aunt Maggie and the other ones. No. Also, Aunt Bertha was very seldom that we saw her, and all the ones that was in California. And maybe I may have seen the old Aunt Rosie that was living in New Orleans. Maybe I might have seen her maybe once or twice. That's about it. Yes, she must have been a Della Lorenzo, the one that was living in New Orleans. Mm-hmm. And then Uncle Frank, the one that used to call him Sheep because he was gray as a bat like Uncle Charles. He had a dairy, and they lived on Central Avenue. That's where they had their dairy at. She always said, regardless, she reminded me of Grandpa. Because Grandpa, he could have had that, Grandpa.
Your husband.
My husband. He could have all the trouble in the world, bad luck or anything else, and he would never have a frown on his face. He always was with a smile on his face. You know how Sonny is? Mm-hmm. Sonny Palmisano? With that smile on his face, regardless how much trouble that he had. Well, Sonny reminded me just like Grandpa. And Grandpa reminded me of Great Grandma, Big Grandma. Because you'd never see a frown on her face or a sad face on her whenever we go there. Never. She always had that smile and a little twinkle in her eyes. Like she was welcoming you, you know what I mean? She was so glad to see you. She was a very sweet person, very, very nice person. And she didn't like no trouble. We went there one time, and she says, she told us, she said, when a baby's born, you should cry. Because it's a terrible world to come into. When they die, laugh. They're out of pain, they're out of trouble, nobody can hurt them. And when she died, there ain't nobody cried. For 2 nights and 2 days, she was awake. She was awake from 2, honey. She said, y'all, laugh, have a party. Like if you want to a party, do not cry at my wake. Ain't nobody cried either. And she had some people, let me tell you. Whew.